Thank you for signing up for business behavior coaching. My name is Coach Bong. I'm actually a coach and a consultant. I'm a psychology graduate from UP, and I'm excited that I am interacting with you, and I hope that you would really allow me to walk with you in managing paradigms and perception. And this is with the hope that it will give you a better understanding on how to have a winning attitude vis-a-vis equating it on understanding what should really matter most. For this session, allow me to start with an illustration on the board game Monopoly. And I believe majority of you, or you have also already encountered on how is it to play Monopoly. Normally, it's a board game that is with accumulation, um, buying properties. And normally, the funny about it, even if you have accumulated so much during the game of Monopoly or participating in this board game, what gets to happen after the game? It goes back to the box. So the same way with our life, regardless of the investments, accumulations that we have had, we will all go back to the box. So today, I would actually be inspiring you on how to, especially during this pandemic season, um, research during I've read actually into so many articles that there are four um, elements that um, every person would want to be connected with. So, and I will actually be using that again on my another illustration, because I would want you that after this conversation with you, after this coaching session with you, that I hope that you will be able to really connect on what matters most. Four things, okay? People would say that the pandemic or this crisis, they would really want to be connected, number one, with God. Okay, second, they would want to be connected or to spend time with their loved ones, and that is people. Third, they would want to be aligned with their calling or their purpose. And fourth, at the end of it all, they would want to have joy in what actually they are doing. So try to imagine I am presenting to you an empty jar, okay? Try to imagine you have with you an empty jar, which actually represents your life. An empty glass, okay? An empty glass jar. And beside it, there's a pitcher full of sand, okay? And this sand actually represent the have-tos, all the things that you are obliged to do. And now, we will be integrating the four elements that I have mentioned, which um, every individual finds these four balls as important, which I mentioned a while ago: God, people, calling, and joy. Okay. Most often than not, if we have actually a look back before we experience the quarantine, um, we've been so focused on putting or focusing on the have-tos, the things that we're obliged to do, putting it on the empty jar, which actually represents our lives. And sadly, the four things that should really be prioritized um, is not actually the priority. So what gets to happen? So try to imagine there's this pitcher full of sand, and we're gonna pour it to the empty jar, okay? So most of us actually have things to get done at school. So that's our I have to. That's just the thing that we're obliged to do. So we pour it on the empty jar. We have meetings to attend, projects to complete. We have personal tasks to take care of. We have to sleep. We have to take a shower. We have to brush our teeth. We even have to exercise occasionally. We have household jobs to do. We need to buy food, prepare food. We have to eat. We have to maintain relationship. We have to social obligations. We have to spend time looking for lost objects, fill up paperworks. What else? Multitasking, talking on the cell phone while doing another activity, and other unexpected things to include recreation. And at the end of the day, if we look at it, we get to realize that that empty jar is filled already with the things that we have to do. And now, um, we have this struggle to fill in that jar with the four balls, which represents God, represents people, represents your calling, and then experiencing joy. We realize that it cannot fit anymore. Okay, we get to have a realization that that empty jar cannot fit the four walls, so it is not enough, and we get tired and we get burned out along the way. So, ending, we miss out, including the four important things that should matter most. We miss out um, experiencing the joy of having God in our lives. And in fact, in this pandemic, most of us have enjoyed the solitude and realizations. Some would say na you don't want to get at the end of your life and not knowing God. So imagine reaching the age of 70, having received more than 25,000 days as a gift from God, and not having given a single one back to Him because you were too busy. Hmm? Personally, I don't want that the prayer that I would be saying at the end of my life, or the prayer that I would be saying, um, would be help, 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 help. Personally, I don't want to miss His voice for not reading His word or the scriptures. I don't want to miss intimate moments by being alone with God. But one thing that I have realized, um, I've been verbalizing these things because I was so focused on the have tos, and not starting, okay, my day with devotion, my day with communicating with my God. Second, the reason that it cannot fit anymore on that empty jar, the second element, which is people, um, because it's so focused with so many have tos, I forgot to realize that every human life is a miracle. Definitely, I want to be deeply present with the people in my life. I want to notice and treasure um, my my mom. I want to notice and treasure my siblings. I want to grow some deep friendships. I'd like to be a good neighbor. I would want to savor the people I work with. I'd like some folks or some significant others to miss me when I'm gone. Why? Because we want to notice people who are hurting. We want to notice the poor. We want to serve and learn from people of different backgrounds. We want a compassionate heart. But sadly, because we're so focused of filling in the have-tos in our life, we tend not to notice these important people in our lives. I want actually to articulate or apply um, this one segment in the book shows Tuesdays with Maury, which says, "Always bring a tissue with you because you will never know when you will get the opportunity to dry somebody else's tear." And of course, I want to fully understand my calling or my purpose, because when I simply drift my calling, it would quickly turn into a self-serving um, perspective. I want to know more about the important reason why God made me the way He did. I want to use what I have been given to do. Okay? But because sometimes we're so focused on the so many have-tos in our lives, we get burned out and we get tired, and we don't align to our actually calling. I want actually to bloom where I am planted. I want to understand the different roles that I play and how can actually actualize my or actualize and maximize, okay, my goals per role, per hat that I am wearing. And over and above, I want to have joy. I would like to get up to 100 blessings a day. I want to celebrate sunsets. I want to celebrate God's goodness and His amazing, wonderful, mysterious gift of life to me. Okay? But sadly, sometimes I cannot do that because, as I mentioned, we're too focused of filling in or filling up that empty jar with the have-tos in our lives. So you see, when the jar that is my life gets too full of have-tos, then what's the result? Little time for people. And it cannot happen if the box of my life is already filled with too many have-tos. So obviously, when our life is filled with so many have-tos, there will be no more room for balls. There will be no more rooms for connecting with God, connecting with the significant people in our lives, understanding our calling, or just enjoying or having joy in what we do. So in life, as usual, there is no space for what we say matters most. We all want to pursue what matters most. We all want to pursue the kingdom of God. But we keep on reasoning, we just don't have the time. Sidney Harris said, "Regret for the things we did can be tempered by time. It is regret for the things we did not do, that is inconsolable. I'll get around to these priorities when I have more time. I just need more hours in a day." Normally we say that. But remember, God has ordained the number of hours every hour should contain. And the size or the jar comes in size 24. It cannot be supersized. And the jar is not getting any bigger. And the balls are not fitting in. I remember the saying that if the devil cannot make you bad, he will make you busy. So either way, you miss out on the life God intended for you to lead.